character portrayal of Pidge, did you do any research from the original Voltron?
I didn't. I wanted to go in and kind of do it my way and see what the reboot was going to be and kind of match that instead of going in and kind of replaying the same old gremlin as before. I love that gremlin, by the way. Let's just be very clear. Endless love for the gremlin Pidge. But I'm doing it my way.
What was it that first made you take an interest in acting?
I always wanted to be, well, first of all, my parents put me in acting classes and camps when I was young because they thought it would be cheaper than therapy. It wasn't, but it worked out fine. And I always kind of wanted to do everything growing up. I wanted to be a doctor, I wanted to be a cartoon character, I wanted to be a scientist, a superhero. And acting kind of provides an outlet to be anything and everything, which is definitely why I'm doing this. Also, it's really fun to kind of bring a voice to the voiceless and bring life to these marginalized characters. It's an honor and a privilege.
Yeah. So, first of all, you're kicking ass all across the scene. You have live action, you have Arrow, you're in iZombie, which is my favorite show and I love. Congratulations on the new season.
Thank
I mean, I haven't seen you in it yet, but hopefully, things can happen. But it's also a challenge as an actor to go from being like on camera to doing things to also then be filling out roles like Pidge, which you make so animated. What are some of the challenges that you have switching between live action and voice acting?
I like this question. I was actually thinking about it the other day. Is we've been really fortunate in Voltron. A lot of the time we actually get to record together, which is really helpful because in live action you get to feed off the other people that you're working with, and a lot of times in animation you're in the booth alone. So on days where you're in the booth alone, you have to kind of put in the other performers' voices and their performances in kind of based on memory. But when you're all together, it's just like being in live action, and it's like the whole family's back together, and you really just remember why you love these people and why you're doing this. It's great.
Thanks.
Any question?
Coming into a property like Voltron that has such a long history, did it worry you how the audience might react to you portraying a character that they may already have in their minds what that character is?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's always a big fear. I kind of, not the exact same situation, but when I did Scream, it was an existing franchise, and we were always concerned that the OG fans were kind of gonna just dismiss us as a joke. And that was a very similar fear for Voltron was, are we going to be able to appeal to the original fans? Are we going to be able to keep up with this legend? No pun intended. Pun slightly intended. But what was the most rewarding thing was hearing from the OG Voltron fans saying, yeah, I was prepared to dismiss you guys as a joke, and then I watched it, and even though it doesn't match entirely, it brings in things from the old, and it creates this comprehensive, hilarious universe. And so, yes, there were a lot of concerns, especially because, as you said, Gremlin Pidge versus new Pidge. There's a big difference, and I was a little terrified that the old Pidge fans were gonna hate me, but so far so good.
Any other questions?
Anybody else?
I'll have one out there. Okay, so
Hi,
hello. I actually run a D&D podcast, so
I'm sorry, I played D&D last night.
Don't worry. So my question for you is, if Pidge were to play D&D, what class and race would they play?
I created a Pidge paladin character just on a joke, and then I realized that I don't think Pidge would choose to be a paladin. Not at all. So I like this question because I'm still trying to figure out exactly where Pidge would put herself, But I definitely ruled out Bard.
Probably.
Definitely ruled out Bard. I ruled that one out pretty quickly. Cleric feels like a good one though.
Sorceress?
Reminds me of Trigal.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I have this. This is killing me. I have to ask this. The new Voltron has a certain level of ingenuity, which I feel like the old Voltron was lacking. But the old Voltron was really, for lack of my term, it was gutter. Cause I love watching the flies go, get him on the legs, get him on the arm, take him apart, But so with how much how much is improv and how much is like just reading off the script, and how much is really more like, hey, I am this scene has new energy now that we're acting it out. Let's alter it a little bit. How much of yourself do you put into the role?
I like to say that I put as much of myself as humanly possible in the roles, just because I find it more interesting. That way, also it's more fun to play. But a lot of it is written. The majority of it, 98%, is very, very scripted, which is a testament to our writers. They're brilliant. The most improv that goes into it is like, think about when Hunk does those stammerings, and Hunk and Lance especially do those stammering, little no, those sort of things. Those are like, it's written kind of very formulaic, and then they bring in themselves into these characters, and that's how it ends up so seemingly spontaneous, when in fact our writers are just geniuses.
Can you talk about some memorable fan encounters you had?
Every single one. I know that that's so lame to say, but just the Voltron fans are some of the most wholesome people that I've ever had the honor of meeting. And actually, walking into Momocon Day 2 this morning, I walked in and I saw like just an array of Voltron cosplayers set up taking a picture, and I asked if I could join in and photobomb, because I'm blown away by cosplay. I really am. It's just it's so creative and ingenious, and everybody puts so much love and effort into their costumes, and how could you not appreciate and love that?
Do you have a green paladin costume?
I have a green paladin hoodie that says Techie on the back, and a helmet. I don't have the full costume yet, but I'm working on it. I'll get there eventually.
Who would you say has had the biggest impact on your career?
Who would have the biggest impact on my career? Jonathan Demme, may he rest in peace. I did a show called The Killing, and spoiler alert, my character exited the scene before Jonathan Demme did his episode, but he asked me to come in and be there for his episode so that I could shadow him and kind of say goodbye to my character. And it was one of the most formative experiences of my life. He changed everything about how I was viewing the world and the industry, and I will forever be grateful.
As a rising star, sorry.
Right behind you, one.
Oh, my bad. Hi.
When it comes to LGBTQ representation within like voice acting and on-screen acting, which community do you feel has been better and has more representation, and which one do you think has been more welcoming, or are they both screwed?
It's always the
Well,
one question.
I like that question, and honestly, I mean, obviously, I feel like you probably watch Steven Universe, but that alone right there, Steven Universe, and then bringing in Pidge's whole, like, I'm a girl, and then the bathroom situation and everything, it's been really, really cool to watch how representation has kind of popped up in new media, like animation, which is something that a lot of the edgier cartoons have had it, but now it's becoming more mainstream, which is beautiful to watch. And in live action, it's sometimes it's still a struggle. You'll have people saying, "Oh, we've got one queer character, so we're good. We filled our quota," and the rest of the community is like, "There's more of us. There's so many more of us. We all group together." And so it's going to be really fun, especially over the next couple of years, to kind of watch how everything evolves. Cartoons are, Steven Universe is a prime example of, are jumping right into it, and it's going to be really fun to watch as live action does that too. Did that make any sense out loud?
It did.
Okay.
Got it. So, as a rising star in the scene, on both live action and animation, what advice would you have for anyone who's trying to break into the field? Any techniques, any like pitfalls, any like challenges, any like personal woes, anything that you could do to usher in the next generation?
It's hard. It's really hard. You got to have a lot thicker skin than you even think that you should. This industry is based on rejection, being told that you're not what they're looking for, that you're not good enough, and you just have to go, oh, okay, well, you can think that if you want, you're wrong, I'm worth it. And you just get back up and keep going, which is definitely the hardest lesson to learn, but the most valuable.
I understand that you are from Atlanta. What's it like being a guest at a convention in your hometown?
Oh, I love coming back to Atlanta. I love coming back for cons, for work, for everything. I spent so much of my childhood like, I gotta get out of Atlanta. There's something more for me. That coming back is so much fun because, oh look, the more for me is here again.
Any questions? In front.
What's something that you're passionate about outside of acting?
Queer representation and gender rights and all that sort of, all the fun LGBTQIA stuff. It's the time for everyone to kind of be allowed to be exactly who they are and be told that it's okay to explore that. You don't have to know immediately. You're allowed to experiment. And I think that it's really important for this upcoming generation to learn that.
Thank you.
Questions?
On that, have you faced any difficulty as someone who's LGBT in either of the communities? Has it been has it been better after coming out? Like, has it improved at least?
I like to say that it's always better after coming out because it's scary. It's scary to still be in the closet, and while you're still in the closet, the concept and the prospect of coming out is just absolutely petrifying. And then as soon as you come out, it's just, oh my God. Oh, I'm not talking to you, Siri. I'm sorry. But as soon as you come out, it's just like, it's that line in Love, Simon. The last couple years, I felt like you've been holding your breath. It's just the weight is lifted, and you get a chance to be exactly who you've been supposed to be this whole time. You're no longer hiding this massive part of who you are.
I read in an interview earlier regarding you were looking forward to the toy collection of Voltron.
Yes.
Did you get Pidge?
I haven't gotten Pidge yet. PlayStation, I think. There's a PlayStation. I don't remember which one it is. I'm terrible at merchandising. Great. But they've got Keith, Shiro, and Lance out right now, and Pidge yet. So anybody, if you can find the toys, go buy them out so we can get the rest. I want the full collection.
Any questions on the floor?
Hey, Ivana. Bonds here. What's your reaction to fan fiction in the community?
Oh my
Anyone
God.
in your college? Yeah.
My reaction to fan fiction and fan art and all that stuff is have fun.
Yep.
It's art. It's fun. It's these characters that we all love and adore. So why judge anybody for what they're creating based on these characters that they themselves love? I think that it's just meant to be fun.
You mentioned earlier playing D&D. How long have you played?
Not long enough. I've only played for maybe a little over a year now, and I've only got 2 characters, but I'm excited to play more. I played last night, and it was a couple hours of just nonsense, which is always fun.
So what are your 2 characters?
One is an Asmar, and one is a Tiefling Barbarian. Yep. I like to wreak havoc. It's fun.
When it comes to Voltron, did you going into the role, did you watch the show and try and get familiar with the characters and try to emulate them? And also, did you change it at all afterwards, based going into that role, based on fan reaction, and comparing it to the old one?
No, I mean, when I first went in, I took the breakdown of what they gave me for Pidge and the show and everything, and kind of went from there. I didn't look up the old version because I wanted to do it this new way and do what they'd given me instead of kind of just emulating the past masters. I want to be a master in my own right.
Any other questions on the floor?
What do you prefer more, live action or voice acting?
Ooh, can I do both? I just want to do both forever. I've always wanted to be a cartoon character, so voiceover is just more than a dream come true. And obviously live action is a chance to be anything and everything as well. So I just want to do everything for the rest of my life.
Thank you very much, Bex. Really appreciate it. It's time for pictures now. That's all right with everyone.